You've seen him on MTV, on Showtime, and on A&E's Evening at the Improv. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Brad Stine.
Oh, yeah, you better be happy. Yes. Oh, yeah, I want you to have, I feel good, I feel wacky tonight, I feel crazy. I have been around the world, I have been all over, I've done television, motion pictures, but now, Knoxville, woo! Yeah. Oh, yes. I love you people. You are excited about being here. You're excited about being Americans, man. Yes, you are. You're happy for who you are. I'm excited because I travel everywhere I go. Otherwise, I wouldn't get anywhere. And I fly by plane. That's what I'm saying. I fly all over the place to see people just like yourselves and see what America really looks like. Not Hollywood America. They're not America. Nobody knows what they are. New York isn't America, but you are middle America, baby. And you know what? That's what I like. We can get to any airport in this country. We can fly anywhere we want freely, safely, because we are a free democracy, and I love that. I love the fact that we have a country like that, and I'm grateful for it. Grateful, but I must tell you this, I travel all the time by plane. If you don't, there's a couple tips you should know. A couple things you might want to be aware of. Number one, ever since September 11th, you know those people that sort of check your bags and kind of security people? Okay, listen, they have no sense of humor. None. I just want you to know that right here, right now, there's things you cannot do in our airports anymore. And I just want to give you, I'm here to give you a tip. Because, I mean, for example, if they pull you aside, they say, sir, can we go through your baggage? Do not say, sure. Don't do that. They hate that. Do not get in the X-ray line, get bored, and get on the conveyor belt. Do not do that. Freaks them out. Okay, we got shoes, we got a purse, skeleton. Your head comes out the other side. Hey, how's my lungs? Okay. And they always pull me aside because I'm always by myself, and I always beep. I walk in and I beep. My shoes, I don't know, something's beeping all over the place. They pull me aside, and they open up my stuff, and they start going through my underwear, trying to find some kind of weapon I could use to take over a plane. I'm thinking, I got a flash for you folks. If I want to take over a plane, my underpants will do the trick. That's all I need. Just snap that bad boy open. Okay, I got some jockeys. Back off! Don't make me make you smell them! They freak. Oh, I want to tell you about you. A lot of people, if you do not know who I am, there's something about me you should know right off the bat. I believe in freedom. I believe in freedom of speech. And so I want to give you the same opportunity that I hear a lot of people try to tell us all the time when we see something we don't want to see. Hey, just turn the channel. I'm going to give you a little channel turn-in chance right now before we get the ball rolling. About me, you better know it, and you better know it now. Number one, I am a conservative comedian. Listen to me, a conservative comedian. One of two known to exist in the Western Hemisphere. Number two, I am a Christian. I believe that God is real, and I'm proud that that is the heritage of my country. That's number two. And number three, I believe the United States of America is the greatest country that has ever existed on the face of the earth. It's worth fighting for, it's worth dying for, because there's never been a country like this. It's better than Europe. That's why we left. Oh, yeah. I have found my constituency. Yes. That's what I'm talking about. I believe in these ideas. I believe in them. And because of those three ideas, because of my politics, because of my patriotism, because of my religious belief system, those three ideas that drives my worldview, when I die, I will be stuffed, mounted, and sent to the Smithsonian Institute in the Why He Never Got His Own Sitcom display. Because Hollywood doesn't let people like us on their thinking TV shows. You know why? It's obvious. Because since only half of America vote conservative, and since only 90% of Americans believe in God, and since most Americans are patriotic, they realize there's just no market for what I'm doing. I'm here now in Tennessee because I love the South. I moved to the South, for crying out loud. I moved here because I care about the people. I appreciate the heritage, because you're like old-fashioned America to me. You're like the blue-collar people. You pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. I appreciate that, and I love about it, but I got to tell you something. I've been driving through your little town, driving through your town. There are some stinking lazy people around here. Lazy people. Because, see, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, there's people that work hard and are a credit to society. But I'm driving through the Lincoln town, and I actually saw a sign on the little freeway that said, bump. Just said bump with an arrow showing me where the bump's going to be. Now, folks, I'm no professional when it comes to the best use of county funds for road repair. But I'm just thinking, if you got enough money to build a bump sign, if you got enough excess dough to hire people to go out and install bump signs, here's an idea you might want to think about. Fix the bump! I don't know. Maybe it's time to take money out of the bump sign slush fund and apply it to the bump repair pork barrel sinking foundation. I don't like the bump signs. They don't work. You know why? Because by the time you see them, you're already there. That scares me, because you guys could pull anything off. I don't want to be going 90 seeing giant hole. Having a bunch of you guys up in red vests. Well, it's the problem. We put up a sign. At least you missed the bump. I got in my little car and I took off. Man, look at these alligators. Why did you get up there? It is so weird. We got all the people and then like the leper colony up here. Look at them. It's pathetic. This is like the real audience. They're all like, unclean, unclean. They put us in this small cubicle because we're not fit for human eyes. Crying out loud. You know, that's where Lincoln sat. Just thought I'd... Now they're going to spend the rest of the show going, was that something? Did you hear... Any disgruntled actors in this area? Oh, forgot, he was on your side. Okay, never mind. I'm thinking about, you know how I'm getting. How you doing, brother? You doing good? Looking good. Looking country. Good. Well, you're a good audience. I just said country, they're like... I love the way he uses words. I don't care. That's what I'm saying to you. I want to be with you because you are America to me. You're the real thing. You're the ones that drive this country, and I'm grateful that you're here, and I'm grateful for my country. I really am. This isn't some shtick. I'm grateful for the freedom I have because there's so much ungratefulness in this country. So many people that have freedom to tear it down, not realizing that freedom didn't come free. And they don't appreciate it. See, but it's not, and I can't just blame the liberal ideology. It's the human condition. Ungratefulness. Never being happy with what you got, being upset that you didn't get that other thing. Started in the beginning with Adam and Eve. Right off the bat, set the precedent. Now, I got to tell you something. I feel sorry for Adam and Eve because, they were the first people. A lot of pressure being the first people. A lot of pressure being the first. Make one mistake, everybody reads about it. How would you like to wake up to that morning headline? Adam blows it for everybody. Crying out loud. So that they were Adam and Eve, given the opportunity, the keys to the kingdom, to go out and have a wonderful world that they can live with and be around God and hang out and be good. But were they grateful for that? No. You know why? I think what happened was they were given a few chores and they got a little bit crazy. Adam had the hardest gig. He had to name all the animals by himself. Think about that. Can you imagine having to name every animal there ever was and give it a creative name? That would be hard. That's why so many animal names are stupid. Adam got burnout. Gave out all the good names right off the bat. You shall be Hippopotamus. Big 12-letter creative name. Go forth, hippopotamus. 10 hours later, cow. Cow, I guess. I'm running out of letters. I had another one. Yak, 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 yak. By the time the bugs got in line, he just named them whatever they were doing. Fly. Of all the amazing things that fly in this world, fly got the name. That's when God stepped in. I'll take it from here, Adam. Thanks anyways. I was gonna stop you after the grasshopper, but I gave you one more shot. He called a fly a fly. You know the duck was right in front of him going, come on! Fly, duck. But God had to put a kibosh. He had to stop it, otherwise the fish would be a swim. Dog's a doo-doo. Cat's a waste of money. It would have been ridiculous. Do we have any cat lovers out there? We got cat people? We do. Okay. Look, I don't want to put you out. I don't want to lose you. I don't hate cats if they just stay in the road where they belong. You don't. You want to play in our reindeer games. And it's crazy, it's unusual, it's about the ungratefulness. It's about the ungratefulness that makes it happen, that makes people wonder why we are losing a country of unity. And I'll tell you why, because of the ungratefulness. I see it all the time. I am grateful for my life. I'm grateful for my kids. I got 2 kids, 1 wife. Yes, I'm proud of that. Okay. I'm proud of that. But you know what? Is she grateful? I'm grateful for my wife. She's like a gift from God to me. But is she grateful for what a great husband I am? No. Once you get in there and get into the game, suddenly she's ungrateful for me. Why? Because I'm always doing something that she can't handle. Something that bothers her, and she's always talking about it, yelling it out, just driving her crazy. Put the seat down. That's number 1. Put the seat down. That's all I hear all night. I don't even hear I love you as much as, put the seat down! I never knew why, actually. What's the big deal about putting the seat down? And she said, well, it's more attractive. I'm thinking it's more attractive. Let me tell you something, girls. I don't care how many stinking doilies you put on it. I don't care how many candles you light. I don't care what kind of rug you put around it. Listen up. It's still a toilet. It's never going to get so attractive. We're going to say, you know, we really ought to take that out of the bathroom, put it in the living room, don't you think? It's just being lost there in the bathroom. Attractiveness is not what it is about. It's not what it's about. It's about the obvious fact that something else was up, and I couldn't figure what it was. And after 11 years of marriage, 11 years, I finally got it out of her. In a weak moment, when she wasn't prepared, I said, what's the big deal about putting the seat down? And she fessed up finally. She said, because if you don't, when I go potty in the middle of the night, I fall in the toilet. Wait. You fall in the toilet? See, this is what's amazing to man and why we can't grasp it. Let me tell you why, ladies. Because every time you go potty, you have to sit down. Men only sit down half the time. In other words, we're not nearly as experienced as it is you are, and yet men have managed to never fall in the toilet. Let me explain something to you. If you have to sit down every time you go potty and don't stop to make sure there's a chair there, you deserve to fall in the toilet. That's your punishment for not using your neck. Crying out loud, she gets mad at me. Well, you should put it down as being respectful. Really? You don't put it up for me? What happened to this marriage 50-50 thing? I'll put a thing down for you, put it up for me. If it wasn't supposed to go both ways, it wouldn't have come with a hinge. It would have been cement. But that's the world we live in. A world where people absolutely are looking for something to be about. And I love my wife. I joke about her because it's who she is, and I love her. Because what you find out in life, in a good relationship of marriage, is that what makes it work is not the easy parts, it's the hard parts. That's what makes it work. That's when you learn how to love somebody. That's when you learn how to commit to somebody, because it's hard. And you know what, kids? Hard is good. I'm so tired of the kids. It's so hard. It's supposed to be. It's supposed to build something that we've lost in this country. It's called character. Hard is good. Hard is supposed to be good, but what we have here is a loss of understanding of what made this country great. You know why? Because we've got so much abundance that we don't appreciate it. And so what we no longer look up to is the clergy to lead us. No longer look for honorable men to lead us. We look to actors to lead us. God bless you, Sean Penn. You're a great actor, but I don't care who you're voting for. When you're taking your little Oscar, sit down and shut up. I don't care. It's supposed to be an awards show, not a political statement. These are the people that have 50 singing award shows a year for themselves in $500,000 gowns and acting like they care for the downtrodden. Hypocrisy at the highest level. You're just an actor. You pretend to be somebody else for a living. What's the big deal? In your world, it's acting. In our world, it's called schizophrenia. But we see it all the time, caring about people that don't give enough back. Where do you see it the most? Where do you see it the most? Supermodel. What's that thing they do at the end? How is that supposed to be attractive? Yes, I walk like no girl on earth, and then I have a problem with my spine. Did I mention that part? They walk for a living. That's all they do. And then they have that arrogant attitude like they're doing something that we can't. Look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. I can walk and wear clothing. Woo! I'm unbelievable. You simply walk for a living. The only thing, I've never heard of a job whose only requirement is you have to be born. Because it's just genetics. That's all they do. That's all they do. And yet what I find is that they're not grateful for getting overpaid. They're thinking not grateful at all. They just talk about how much pressure it is. You ever heard of oh, it's so much pressure being a ramp model. How much pressure can it possibly be? All right, girls, walk to the end of the ramp. Don't walk off. Spin around, walk back, and I'll pay you $100,000. They make $100,000. You want to know your culture's crumbling from within? When a model makes more money in an hour walking a ramp than a teacher makes in 5 years, that's when you know you got a problem in your culture about caring for those who give too little back. You need to realize that every presupposition you have has consequences. Has consequences. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. People that don't understand that this matters. It matters what you believe and what you think. That's what I'm talking about. But they don't. They don't. They want to talk to the animals. Ever seen that? Huh? Excuse me, do any animals make those sounds? That is what's bizarre to me. If you're going to pretend like you can actually talk to an animal, shouldn't you at least make a sound maybe they've heard in the wilderness? A roar, a bark, but they just make an arbitrary sound, like suddenly the animal will know what that means. You can't even do that to people. Oh, you don't speak English. He's an idiot. He doesn't get it. Well, you're not being fair because the animals are just like us. We've actually have been able to teach gorillas how to talk. No, you haven't. You've taught them sign language. You've taken the intelligence you have, the rationale, and you've put it upon them and taught them that if you do this and they do it back, that suddenly by their instinct, they get a banana. That's all you've done. You've taught them instinct, like teaching a dog to roll over. It doesn't impress me that we can teach something with our intelligence how to react to what we want them to. It would impress me if suddenly they taught us their language. That would impress me. then you know you're dealing with an equal intellect. But it never happens. Never see the dolphins going, no, it's not. It's. It's about being grateful for who you are as a human, a grateful human being who is intrinsically valuable. But we're not happy and excited about it because we want to be ungrateful. Because why? We live in America, and America has overabundance. And so you get fat, you get lazy, and you think it comes for free. And it don't. It comes hard, and hard is good. But instead we want to complain all the time. We got to stop the complaining, folks. We got to stop it in its tracks, the ungratefulness. How about the weather whiners? People that always complain about the weather. Oh, it's so cold. It's so cold. First off, why does anybody think they need to tell the rest of us what the weather feels like? Why are you with the group and suddenly only one person thinks they can interpret the atmosphere? Oh, it's so cold. Oh, you're a weatherman. You're a weatherman. That's my little signal I give to people who either treat me stupid, try to dumb me down, or give me information I know is false. Oh, it's so cold. Really? Here, take one of them. It's so cold. Really? Put on some fur. That's what the cats are there for. Cat people can't take it. The cat people make a mistake because cat people don't realize they don't know how to handle other animals. Cat people are unique and should just stay there. Dog people can go ahead and get a cat because dog people know and understand, but do not buy a dog if you're a cat girl. I'll tell you why, because dogs have a special dignity. They need names that are dog-like. Spike! Butch! Ty, you want those kind of names. But cat people never do that. I'll prove it. You got a cat. What's its name? Fluffy. Have you ever wondered why you always see dead dogs on the side of the road and not cats? It's not because they get hit more. It's because they're literally flinging themselves in front of a car. Okay, some cat owner bought them and named them Fluffy. So cold, it's so cold, it's so cold. Quit being ungrateful. If you are an American, you live in a country that can offer you any possible type of weather you would want. You can go there, that's my point. Either move to the weather you like or shut up. Let me tell you what cold was. I was in Winnipeg, Canada once in January. You ready for this? 70 below! 70. And people live there on purpose. I could understand if it was a place of exile. But people want to be there with their kids. Now, I was there to work, thus I wasn't adapting, and I wasn't whining, I wasn't staying. I tried to reason, hey, it's 70 below, something's broken! Swear all the Canadians, oh, it should have been here last year, it was really cold. God bless them for their adaptation and accepting it. See, I don't want to reach a point in my life where 70 below zero is considered nippy. Thank you. Don't want to live in a place where you go out to get the mail and then you die. I don't want to live in a town where everybody smokes because nobody wants to prolong their life expectancy. Got like 3-year-olds. You sick yet? No! I don't even have a tumor yet. 70 below, people getting locked out of the house. Honey! Take them out of the cold, put them in the hot. What do? Do they appreciate it? No, they whine because it's about a lack of character and appreciation and gratefulness. I was in Vegas. Y'all been to Vegas, right? Y'all done a Vegas thing? A couple. I forgot we got a bunch of church people that are like, we've never actually heard of Las Vegas. Is that in the Babylonian Empire or what? We'll look it up in our concordance tomorrow. Yeah. Good to have the Pharisees and Sadducees out here tonight. Glad to have you with me. But I was in Vegas, been to Vegas many times. Last time I was in Vegas was the MGM Grand Hotel, Las Vegas, Nevada. That's all right. You just got excommunicated, but it's okay. She did. Sorry, Pastor. I like their movies, is what I meant. MGMs. First time I ever went to Vegas was in the month of July. By the way, if you're thinking about taking a family getaway to Vegas in July, do this. It was 120! And you know what? It should be. It's the desert. That's where 120 hangs out. There are actually people that are going, oh, it's so hot, it's so hot. Oh, you think it's hot in the desert in the summer? I couldn't have figured that one out without it. Anybody that goes through the desert in the summer and complains that it's hot, I don't want to hang with. Do they like go swimming? Oh, it's so wet, it's so wet. I didn't realize it'd be so aqua-y. The problem is not, is it hot in the desert? The problem is, why would you start a town there? What are your options? Well, we don't have enough fuel to make it to the surface of the sun. So I'll live here. Okay, Brigham, let's go to Vegas. The ocean's over there. No, let's stop right here next to the dead lake. You're the prophet. I'm putting sunscreen on. It's crawling off. You're on your own. They don't walk their dogs during the day. I thought because they might doo-doo. No, because they might burst into flame. Those hairy poodles. Come on, baby. Vegas, Mexican word. It means move. Even the cactus is saying stop. If the plants have stinking syringes on them, keep it going. Go to where they should be. Why? Because it's a great town. You see, it's an American town, and I believe in America. But I believe in what America was and what got us to this place of freedom. You know why? Because of something that nobody else ever had. A constitution that they try to copy because it's been brilliantly put together. And a Declaration of Independence that said we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. And they're endowed by their Creator with these unalienable rights, which is life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's what Americans have lost. The pursuit of happiness. The government has promised to protect your right to pursue happiness. If you don't make it, it's your fault. Why? Because we no longer realize what matters. What matters? You know why? Because we don't read anymore. You know what we're missing more in this country than anything? We don't read books. All you got is computers and television and psychological sound bites and fixing a stinking dysfunctional family in 15 seconds. It ain't real. It's false. We used to have a country where you had to take a book and take this sort of idea, imagery known as what's in a letter and a word and pull it out abstractly, stick it in your mind and let it ruminate in there until you can figure out what truth actually worked, how it worked, how life really worked. But instead, we have people that are trying to teach you on these stinking shows what life is in 15 minutes. And I got a flash for you, sweetheart. They ain't teaching you. They're indoctrinating you. I know. I lived in Southern California for 30 years, my friends. You know what they read there? Bumper stickers. That's all they had, bumper stickers. I hate bumper stickers, by the way. I used to see people driving around in $100,000 cars with a bumper sticker on it. Talk about a mustache on the Mona Lisa. Baby, you got a $100,000 car, get the bumper sticker off it. I don't care how smart your kids are. Hopefully they'll be smart enough not to put a bumper sticker on a Ferrari. You moron, Daddy. I hate bumper stickers because I'll tell you why. They only have one purpose, only one. You're supposed to read them. That's all they're for. And yet, when you read some of them, they make fun of you. Ever had that happen? You read it what you're supposed to do, suddenly you're the idiot? What is that all about? If you can read this, you're too close. Well, if it wasn't on your car, I wouldn't have to get so close to see it said, you moron. Anybody that puts a bumper sticker on their car that tells you not to read it, put a helmet on. It's ridiculous. And sometimes they try and get spiritual on their stickers. I saw one that said, God is my co-pilot. So I sped up to see who was driving. I mean, baby, you gotta be a good driver. If when you take off, God's going shotgun, you gotta be good. I think a good rule of thumb is God's in the car, let him drive. He's got insurance, he can talk himself out of tickets. He can knock that radar gun back a couple digits. That'd freak out the highway patrol, got you going 9. Never mind, what the heck? That was weird. Now I'm speeding. What is going on? God is my co-pilot. This guy's toting God around like God couldn't handle it. You take the wheel, I'm not familiar with this area. Last thing I need is God as a backseat driver. He'd be too good. That man's swerving. Where? 3 minutes from now. All right, look out for bumps. They're everywhere.
I know.
What?
I know.
You know everything.
I know.
You're driving me crazy.
I know.
Stop it.
Why?
I don't know.
I do.
Oh, God.
What?
Stop it! You are quick.
I know.
He's quick! That's what I find out every time I talk to people that don't believe in God. They haven't taken actually 2 seconds in their life to actually contemplate what he'd be like. They don't believe in him because they've created him some sort of box they want him to fit in that makes it work for them. He doesn't look like that. It just amazes me how thinking people can get when they're still on earth. I'd like to have a conversation with God. How would you even bring anything up? God, you know what I was thinking?
Yeah.
Can't get a word in edgewise with that guy.
I know.
They don't think about God properly. Not properly at all. I hear it all the time. I hear the atheistic concept that makes no sense, and they don't take 5 seconds to realize how irrational they are, thinking they are rational. I don't believe in God. Why? Well, because, look, children die, and people get cancer, and bad things happen to good people, and good things happen to bad people, and I can't understand why a God would let that happen. I don't believe! I'm like, okay, first off, I don't want a God I can understand. Let me put you like this. If the creator of the universe's intellect is equal to mine, you all are in a world of hurts. The very fact, yeah, you know. The very fact that most elements of God, if he were real, you could not wrap your mind around is why he gets to be called God. You get to be called 16. 14. I just gave you 2 more years there. You should be happy there, Blondie. She's blonde, she didn't know. All right, what? She didn't get it. They don't take time to think about what it would be like. They only take time to try to make God what they want him to be, and that is to eliminate him from culture. That's why you see revisionism in the Constitution, because this is what people do all the time. They use Constitution to find out the ideas and laws that they can do to instigate their life. But what is the foundation? What is the foundation of Constitution? Who wrote it? Founding Fathers. So if they say the Constitution meant this, what they're saying is this is what the Founding Fathers meant because they wrote it. But we have hundreds of documents telling exactly what they meant. And they revise them and twist it and turn it because they don't want you to win. You see, the majority of Americans are conservative, and they have a particular value system that they want to live by. And once liberal ideologies realize they don't get their way, they had to do an end round around the people's will and go to liberal judges who now dictate and make your moral conscience illegal. That's not democracy. It's tyranny. They have to revise what the Founding Fathers meant because they were ruthless. They knew that democracy could only stand if, number one, every one of them said, we must have religion if we're going to have democracy, because democracy is self-rule, so you need something within that self to keep you from becoming immoral. They said it can't stand without religion, specifically Christianity. They said that. That's what they said. They were ruthless because they knew that we can't survive without personal responsibility. Baby, if you didn't have a house back in the day, they didn't give you government housing. They gave you an axe. Hey, Jeremiah, see them trees over there? That's your new duplex. And while you're there, plant some seeds. In a couple months, you'll have some squash. Founding fathers were ruthless. They had to be. Well, the founding fathers would have wanted us to have gay marriage. Yeah, that was their master plan. They tried to create a constitution and an opportunity that after 250 years, finally, men would be able to marry each other. That was their plan. I don't even understand the concept of gay marriage. Okay, let me get this straight. Guys want to marry guys. Cowards. You want to do something crazy? You want to do something over the top? You want to really push the envelope? Marry one of those. That's hard. And hard is good. It is hard to marry one of those. And it's hard to marry one of us. I know that. I know that. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But listen, before you start claiming me, I'm a gay basher. You're a homophobe. Okay, first off, I got to tell you something. I don't buy their language system. If you call me a homophobe, it means nothing to me. You know why? It's not a real word. It's a word that was invented to keep you from being able to disagree. And I don't buy into that because I believe in democracy. As far as I remember, the First Amendment applies to conservatives too. I think. I disagree with you and you say I'm a homophobe. Well, you disagree with me. Apparently you're a heterophobe. Welcome to the club of not letting people disagree. I don't hate you. Could hate gays less. I have very many close family members that are gay. And you know what? I love them. And I always will. And you know what? I'll continue to visit their home, and I'll continue to bring my kids. I love these people. If they think that we hate them, we're doing it wrong. I do not hate them at all. So I will not allow you to tell me I cannot disagree. Just like you believe this is who you are and you have to live that way, I have a moral conscience that I have to be true to. Otherwise, I'm not a man of substance. And in a democracy, let's just simply disagree. And whoever wins, wins. That's democracy. Yes, but you know, they're trying to destroy the sanctity of marriage. Yeah, that would be destructive to the sanctity of marriage. Let me tell you what's been the most destructive to the sanctity of marriage. Who's done the most harm? Heterosexuals who continue to get divorced at a 50% rate in this country. Heterosexuals that continue to live with each other instead of having the guts to marry each other. Heterosexuals who continue to have abortions because a baby's not a miracle, it's a mistake. Heterosexuals that continue to believe that sex is something they're supposed to enjoy because it's just for their thinking narcissistic indulgence. Heterosexuals that consider that it doesn't matter anymore to be committed no matter what happens, come hell or high water. In the 60s, we started the idea that marriage didn't matter and we're reaping what we sowed. So the biggest problem is with the heteros, and until we start getting our home together, maybe we ought to think and start taking logs out of our eyes and taking care of our own house first. Time to lay it out. You know why I can say it? Because I come from divorce. My parents got divorced, remarried back to each other, and divorced again. Let me tell you what divorce does to a kid. Okay? It sucks. And any system that would purposefully deny a child a mom and a dad, I disagree with and despise. That means two men being married ain't as good as a mom and dad, and that means one mom and one dad splitting up ain't as good, and a stepmom and a stepdad ain't as good, and two women ain't as good. I believe in the highest rank of what good is, and I'm not going to lower it because some people don't have the guts to live up to a covenant and say, I'm going to hang in there, baby, until the end. I'll be here. We've lost that in this country, and I'm going to start with my own kind first. So if I hate, I don't hate nobody, because I'm nobody. And I'm a Christian, I tell you that right off the bat. And that is the great difficulty with Christianity. It forbids me to hate people. I want to hate people. I want to hate. I'm not allowed, and that's what makes it such a great religion, because it demands that everything your flesh wants, it don't get, and that makes it great. I want to hate, and I'm not allowed. Not that anybody comes to mind right off the bat, France, but... What the heck happened to France? Weren't we buddies? Weren't we friends? Didn't we help you out in that World War I and II skirmish? Weren't we allies? Weren't we allied? Didn't you invent the word allies? Allies! Hey, can you come help us out? We've been attacked. We cannot possibly help you. Possibly, we are much too afraid to do that. We would lose our contract in Iraq. What I hate! Ungrateful countries. Not allowed. Like my grandmother used to tell me over and over again, if you can't say something nice about a second-rate European nation that would have been wiped off the face of the earth twice in the last 100 years, it wasn't for us and has given nothing to the human race but wine and cheese, both of which are made better in California, then don't say anything at all. And I live by that. Because I wanted to go to France. They said, don't go to France because they hate Americans, they're arrogant. I don't believe in that. I never judge people in groups. I judge people one-on-one, make an assessment based on my personal commitment to this relationship to see who you are, and on that and that alone do I make a judgment. I went to France, I met the French, they're the most arrogant, pathetic people I've ever met. And they stink. Did I mention that? They stink. What is the deal with the stinking stuff? I had this waiter. You were from America. You were trash, but I'm from France. I'm so sophisticated. I'm thinking then maybe you should look into a bar of soap, Jacques. That just might propel you into the Middle Ages. He got mad at me. You know why? Because I couldn't speak French well. I tried to. I tried to speak French to the guy, honor his culture, but I didn't do it good. And here's the thing about French. If you don't speak French perfectly, they don't correct you like a normal human. They freak. Bonjour, président. No. Je ne t'ai dit. I keep the croissant. I'm down with that. Apparently you can't speak French without your tongue coming out. You're so beautiful. That's how they talk in France. It scares you the first time you go, hey, buddy, where's the Eiffel Tower? Over there. That's not in the travel guide. Quit it! Because when I first got to France, they could have said anything to me. I thought it was a compliment. Monsieur Président. Well, I don't know what you said, but... Ooh. Yes, I do sleep in bologna. Thank you. That's how they dance in France, right there. They just go, you never been there, have you? You wouldn't know. Here's how they do it, right there. I'm just setting her up. She's going to go to France someday. Let's dance. Okay. Let's go. So here I sit in Knoxville in 2004, an election year. Election year. And that's good. That's what democracy is. And as I sit here and look at free people who can freely vote for whatever they want, whatever they believe in, I can sit up on stage in a free country with my mic and say that when we were attacked by terrorists and cowards, that I praised God that there was a Texan in the White House. You know why? Because Texas remembers the Alamo. They remember the old-fashioned American that didn't start wars, they just finished them. Texas has got its own thing going, folks. You may not agree with it, you may not, but one thing about them is they remember their heritage, religious and social and economic and political, and they don't stand for the politically correct rhetoric. They don't care. Well, you know, you're not allowed to pray at football games, and they're like, yeah, whatever. Dear Lord, protect the knees of the quarterback on this next play, because I got money on it and everything. They don't care. They don't care. You know, capital punishment's pretty controversial. They're like, I'm sure it is. Anyways. You see, folks, as much as I'd like to believe, I must be honest when I say that Jesus is not a Republican. Wish he was. But he's not. And that's good. He's for everybody. He's not a political figure. He's a God man who says, come to me. I'll give you rest. I don't care what you're about. So it matters. But I appreciate a man that stood up in front of a nation and said, we got a new war. New war. Never been like this before. It's never going to be like this again. And we're going to have to see it differently than we've ever seen it before. And sometimes we're going to have to make moves we've never made before. Are you with me? And everybody said, yes, until 3 years later. And then we got those who decided that freedom is free and all the benefits that we have just come naturally. Thomas Jefferson were alive today, he would be so old. Yeah, he'd be incoherent by this point. Hey, Tom, what did you mean about separation of church and state? I can't find my banana! We'll get back to you on that, Tommy. Take a rest. Crying out loud, look at the kids nowadays. They got anything they could possibly want. They got DVDs. They got thinking game shows. They got Game Boys and Game Qs and Xboxes. They got 120 channels on their television. They got radio, music, and computers. And then they have the audacity to tell you they're bored. You gotta be kidding me. Look around at your parents. We started the video game thing, and it didn't come easy, baby. It wasn't in the house. You had to go to an arcade, and you had to spend $0.25 a pop, and we were grateful, man. We used to stand in line for boop, boop. Grateful! They're not grateful now. No, now they want to shock everybody, don't they? They want to shock everybody. They got so much money and so much free time. They want tattoos, and they want to pierce their ears and their face like they're doing something so on the edge. That's what I can't stand. It's the attitude. Ooh, look, I pierced my tongue. Ooh, I'm on the edge. I'm on the edge. No, you're not. You're just a little thinking kid that's like a thinking stud in your tongue. I'm on the edge. I'm blowing people away. You are not. You want to blow me away? I want to see some of you banging lip plates. That's what I want to see. I want to see you come back from the mall. Mom, Dad, look what I did. That would be living on the edge. That would be taking a chance. These kids put an earring in their tongue. Yeah, man, I'm making a statement. Yeah, you know what the statement is? You're a moron. You should be tough as a child. You should have to suck it up and learn what it's about. That's what I'm talking about. When I was your age, 14, you know what I used to hear all the time? Be careful of that toy, you'll put an eye out. You never heard put an eye out. You know why? Because we don't have the guts to make toys that can actually put your eye out anymore. That's the way toys should be. There should be risk involved. You should have to earn your childhood. Man, we had toys you couldn't imagine. We had a thing called a creepy crawler. You ready for this? An open hot plate with a big old metal plate you stuck on the open hot plate with a metal handle you stuck in a hole in the open hot plate. Then you took stuff called goo and you poured it in there and it boiled over like napalm. Then you pulled it out, stuck it in water till it boiled over, and then you ripped out a rubber bug that you could swallow and choke on. That was a toy. That's how it was supposed to be. You had to earn it. I miss the toys that made you earn it. I miss lawn darts. You're not even gonna believe this, kids. This was a dart that big. And they let 10-year-old boys play with them. Oh, sure, the game started like that. Took about 5 minutes, but wouldn't it be better if you... You're it. That's the kind of toys I want. Toys where if you're not paying attention, you don't just lose points. You lose your cerebral cortex. That was when it was hard. It was a time when you had to figure it out. Right, big guy? He knows. He knows. That was a compliment. Big guy, it's a compliment. Big girl, not so much. Not so much. Should be, but we got liberal ideologues in this country that have decided that you're not allowed to make descriptive terms of people. That's what always bothered me. Big girls should be a compliment too. You know why? Because some girls are big. Some people are made differently than others, and we should appreciate that, shouldn't we? But you're not allowed to say that. You can't say somebody's fat. Hurts their feelings. Why? When does the truth become offensive? I mean, if that was the only word and it was designed to be malicious, I'd understand. But it isn't. You can say other words. Big boned. Hefty. Full-figured. You know what full-figured, hefty, and big bone means? Fat! I'm not a liberal. I don't believe a country is better when you can't say somebody's fat. I'm a conservative. I believe a country is better when you don't think fat is less attractive than thin. That's what I believe in, when you appreciate every type of body because it's the way we were made. That's what I appreciate. Every magazine cover has a girl weighing 20 pounds. No wonder a fat girl feels weird. If you're fat, you're fat, man. That's all I'm saying. You should feel proud. I don't care how many vertical stripes you're wearing. We can tell. Beside every fat person, there's a thin one going, I'm hungry. You know, so be careful. It's not bad. It's culturally imposed. Middle Ages, fat girls were the babes. You see it in all their portraits. They would sit there and let you paint their picture. It took months. And they would lay on a couch, eating, naked. That is a healthy body image. It's culturally imposed. Well, you just can't say it because you're not fat. Yes, I can. You know why? I'm short. I am short. I'm 5'6". Do you understand, folks? That means I'm abnormal. If you say you're short, it's not slander, it's true. Short is the way I'm made. Never gonna be tall, it's what it is. And this is where we've lost the concept of working towards something greater than ourselves. Again, the liberal ideology says, don't use the words, creating a delusional world where words alter reality. And it's not true. You see, you got two choices. When somebody calls you what you are, you can let it destroy you or you can let it drive you. I'm short and I still was a starting shortstop in baseball, senior year in high school. I'm just short. They don't get nothing for being short. They assume tall guys are athletes. Hey, you're tall. You play basketball? What do I get? Hey, you're short. You a jockey? Or what do you do? What's the deal? Nothing. These fat people get to be jolly. Short people have a complex. Got a Napoleon complex. What are you talking about? I'd rather be fat than short. These fat people get to be Santa Claus. Elf. It's about ungratefulness. If I was fat, I would get down on my knees every day and thank God I live in a country that gives me the option of getting fat. It means I've got an overabundance of food. Other countries that are skinny ain't skinny because they don't like it. They don't got nothing to eat. Fat always means abundance. Fat wallet. Fat paycheck. Shortage. Not enough to please everybody here. There's a shortage. Short never gets nothing. You got pants, you got shorts. Shorts are pants, but apparently they're not good enough to get the pant label. Shorts. Shortstop. Doesn't even get his own base. All right, first base, second base, third base, you, short guy. If it comes to you, stop it. Nothing. I'm not ashamed of what I am. I'm not ashamed of what I believe. I'm not ashamed of the way I'm made. Why? Because I'm not an atheist. I'm not a secular humanist. I believe that I have value because I exist, because I'm made in the image of God. That was America. I see y'all right now. I see kids here that have been great sports, as I joked with. I see young and old, black and white. I see people being Americans here laughing together. I see old people here. I call them old. You know why? Because they are. I can't take it anymore. I don't believe a country is great when you can't tell an old person they're old. I think a country is great when you start seeing that old is an asset, when you start giving old a respect, when old becomes a badge of honor. You made it to the old person team, the team I'm trying to get to. If I don't get to your team, I'm dead. I want to be old. I want to be old. Every day I pray at night, let me see my kids grow up. I want to see who they marry and see if they have kids. That's what I pray. But you know what I'm more concerned about? That my kids get to grow up with a mom and a dad who stayed together. That means more to me. I didn't get that. My wife did. And I want to stop that chain. That's why I live by a motto. Nothing matters but God. Nothing. Because if there is no God, then nothing matters at all. It's just an illusion where you are just machines that have no urge but to procreate and make more meaningless machines. But if there is a God, then everything matters because you answer to him. I want to be old. I want to be old because old is something that you get, an element of being old you can only get when you're old. You get perspective. You understand what matters and what doesn't. I want to feel like that, man. Kids don't get it, and you don't get it. Kids always look at old people like they're freaks, like they started that way. Like you get to choose. You want to be young and nimble? No, old and feeble. Push me down. I can't find my banana. I I want to be old to have perspective, baby. When you're 90, you don't care about being popular anymore. You don't care about being rich anymore. You don't care about clothes that match anymore. Why should you? Just fur. I can wrap my grandmother up in aluminum foil. She's out the door. Neighbors are used to it. Oh, Grandma's in her spacesuit again. Good. It don't matter. You know what's greatest about being old? You can take a joke. Kids nowadays are trained that if you find something funny about somebody, you're not allowed to laugh. Because we think that differences, if we find humor in them, is a bad thing instead of a good thing, that we find humor in difference instead of pain and anger. Old people can take a joke. I love that. I love grandmothers. How could you not? Where do they find their perfume? And is it supposed to sear the iris? Is that what they're shooting for? Because suddenly it's not a fragrance around Grandma, it's a force field. Hit you from 50 feet away like you're in the Matrix. Hey, Grandma. And it's thick and it smells of your grandmother. I love you. Quick tip, perfume doesn't age like wine. Throw it away. I'll lend you $2. You can buy another jug. My grandma has jugs of perfume. She pours them all. I thought maybe as you got older, you can't smell as well, so you got to put on extra amount. No, it's not that way. It's in case she wanders away, you can find her. It's a homing device for old people. Where's Grandma? I don't know. Right over here. Yep, she's in the cupboard with the Tupperware again. Come on, Grandma. Get the lid off your head. Come on. I'm kidding. I don't do that to her. I do, but she forgets. So they laugh. Look at the old people. They're laughing. They love their life. It's the young ones that are weird. Look at the little girl right there. Oh, you're not supposed to make fun of Grandma. It's just not nice. I can't believe how you've been indoctrinated. I'm gonna change your life, sweetheart. Look. Hey, Grandma's not real. Just a pretend Grandma used to make a point. She'll be back next show. Snap out of it. Anybody that's worried about the feelings of an invisible person, put a helmet on. Crying out loud, I want to be old. I want to be old. That would make it all worth it. That would make it all end as I would desire. I want to be old. I want to think and be able to sit around on my favorite chair with my kids and grandkids waiting for me to give them a piece of wisdom right before my nap. I want to be old. I want to be in my big car on the zinging fast lane of the freeway going 12 miles an hour with my turn signal on for no apparent reason whatsoever. And as people go around me angry and flipping me off, I'm just content to say I'm 90 and I deserve this spot and I ain't moving. I want to be old. I want to be old. I want to wear underpants that give me the option of not having to find a restroom when I need one. I want to be old. I want to be the only one at the baseball game at the bottom of the night, 2-2, as everybody's going nuts. I've had 10 Cokes and I can just go, ah! God bless you, conservative. God bless you, Christian. And God bless America. Celebrities that don't have any more credibility than us. Don't think I won't break into Martian just to mess you guys up. Pay no attention. Yes, nothing nothing's happening here. Good. Maybe next time you can shoot a dart at me or something. Or send up a flare, give me some shot that suddenly you're gonna be on my stage, lady with the giant brush. Why doesn't this happen more often in regular life, huh, folks? You're getting some pork chops and suddenly, you're just listening. Yes, mother.